Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I'm your host, Alex Reevy, along with the 100th attendee, Sandy Reevy.
Hi, everybody. Can you count that high?
It is episode 414, the week of June 29th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we have today Mercury stationing retrograde.
All those possibilities, ...
And full moon in Capricorn.
Who's in charge?
Tuesday, June 30th, Jupiter ingress Leo.
Easing us in.
Then Sandy's conflict day, Saturday, July 4th, Mars conjunct Uranus.
Conflict, outrageous and courageous. And happy 250 birthday, United States of America.
And Mars sextile Jupiter.
Imaginative and artistic.
Then wrapping up the week with Sunday, July 5th, Mars trine Pluto retrograde.
Involved and committed.
And on the horizon, we have our 2 September events. And in our house, we have a famous quotes quiz. See how well you do. Stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you.
Hello, 100th attendee.
Oh, it was so nice. My mom, the friends that she does have still walking the earth, one just turned 100. And we grew up with him, on our old neighborhood. So
You got invited to 100th birthday.
she called and said, hey, Sandy's going to need to drive me there. And they said, oh, have Sandy join. And so it was, oh my gosh, I saw people that I haven't seen since I was 11 years old, because we moved from that house at 11.
Wow.
And so it's the like 45 kids that were all growing up in this little cute cul-de-sac.
Do you remember all of them?
One, he did not look anything like. And grade school people that I haven't seen also in, I don't know, since 1970 when I graduated.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun. It was great. Shared phone numbers, got information. And actually a really interesting, but I should probably tell you on the side, about a lady that came up crying as I was leaving. But anyway,
we'll save that for our house.
Okay.
Also, it's probably not news to anyone listening to me, but I'm a little bit under the weather and I lost my voice. But and partially due to Mexico in the World Cup, because it was a great game, 3-0 versus Czech Republic. Okay. So let's move into the transits. We have Monday, June 29th. Today we have 2 transits. The first one, Mercury stationing retrograde.
Yeah, Mercury starting as retrograde again, and this is in Cancer at 26 degrees of Cancer. He will go all the way back to 16 of Cancer. So anyone that has that area in their chart, that's important. All those possibilities, ... need to wait. Mercury was applying here. He's at 26 degrees. He's applying to Jupiter at 29, but he doesn't get there. He stops at 26. Jupiter's at 29 today and turns around. So, and then when you're ready, when this Mercury starts moving forward at the end of the month, end of July, it may not be as amazing as your first thought, because of that, as this Mercury was moving toward an exalted Jupiter, right? Like, this is going to be big. This is going to be big production. I'm going to, maybe overextend myself. My thoughts are big, and maybe they're too big for detailed work, but it needs some time to ruminate. Whatever this big idea is you have needs some time to figure out the details, because you have to figure out how to get there. And the Jupiter is making it bigger than it seems. But when they come together again, Jupiter will not be in Cancer, will be in Leo, which is not a bad sign. It's a fire sign. Jupiter likes being in fire. But he's not exalted in Leo. He has triplicity rulership. That's it. So anyway, there's that.
Okay. Then the second transit, Monday the 29th, full moon at 8 degrees of Capricorn.
This is at 6:57 p.m. So we'll be able to see the full moon, when it comes up, just as the sun is going down an hour or two later. So the sun is in Cancer, and opposite, because it's a full moon, so that means they're opposite in opposite places. So if the sun is in Cancer, opposite Cancer is Capricorn. So it's a full moon in Capricorn. Now, we always have to look at the ruler of the moon specifically here. And it's Capricorn ruled by Saturn. And Saturn is in a square aspect to this full moon. So it's called a T-square. So who's in charge? Who does it serve? Right? Someone is blocking, right? An authoritative, somebody that has responsibility, that is trying to put too many demands possibly, because this does not serve the common folk. In a mundane chart, the moon is us social common people, right? We're not the leaders. We may be the leader of our family or the leader of our company or the leader of our friends or whatever, of our children, but it's about the kings, and sun is the king and the moon is the common folk, us people. And it's, I didn't call it my conflict day, but it's my uncomfortable day. Maybe I need to put together another category called uncomfortable. And it's a full moon. So it's a lot of emotions are being expressed here.
Kind of boiling up.
And Mercury stationing retrograde. So this Monday, and this is coming up toward the week of our independence. And it sets on the Monday of our independent week of who does this serve? Does it serve every humanitarian person in the world? Nope. So not my favorite full moon at all.
Okay. All right, good to know. So let's move on to Tuesday, June 30th, Jupiter ingress Leo.
And this is Leo is the leader. Leo is the king. Leo is the gold, right? This happens at 12:52 a.m. So this is around 1 o'clock on Tuesday morning, right after this full moon, not 6 hours later. Now, the going into Jupiter into Leo, I mean, anybody, you've got the moon in Leo, I've got Jupiter in Leo, so I'm going to have a Jupiter return, which happens every 12 years. I'll have Jupiter in my first house. I'm a Leo rising. I know a lot of you out there are Leo risings. But Jupiter moving out of his exaltation place of Cancer, where he's been all year, he now moves into Leo, where he's not debilitated in any form. He is actually a triplicity, co-ruler of triplicity, and he's the night chart triplicity, which is nice for night charts. That means anyone that is born with the sun below the horizon, born with the sun below, like born in the evening or the night. But also Jupiter is the bound lord from 0 to 6 degrees. So the reason why I called it easing us in, that he does have some eminence here. Even though oftentimes when you leave a place of high prominence, you know, things are then a little bit, you know, muddling or a little bit gray or a little bit not as exorbitant, right? But Jupiter in Leo has some good qualities here. I mean, when a planet is in triplicity, it's in harmony with the tribe. It has an authority in the group. It's as if it's a citizen where it belongs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I
Okay.
mentioned that from 0 to 6 degrees, so as soon as he goes in here on Tuesday the 30th, Jupiter goes into not only the night triplicity or the co-triplicity, he goes into the Egyptian bound. And that also means part of the family, a manager, kind of knows how to get things done, right? Becomes the kind of supervisor. So really, it's may not be as sensational or mega, although it's not. It is a word of Jupiter, and but it has prominence here. So all
So
of
maybe that's
us.
the answer to our question, who's in charge?
Who's in charge? Be in charge of what? And we'll talk more about that as we go through the weekend, because Mars now comes into play to these three outer planets. That these outer planets are, you know, all the astrologers, if you're on any of the TikTok or Instagram, everyone's talking about the three slower moving planets, you know,
With
Uranus,
Mars.
Neptune, and Pluto are all in a configuration of a mini grand trine, and all the planets coming in to an aspect around 3 or 4 degrees at certain placements meet up with all three of them, like
Right.
boom, boom, boom. And so that's what Mars is coming into that realm. Mars is in that area of the sky, which is
So
why, yeah,
so let's
Saturn.
move on over and into Saturday, July 4th, your conflict day, and we have two transits here. The first, Mars conjunct Uranus.
Think about this. Uranus is permanently in the air mutable sign of Gemini. Let's think. Mutable. What do you understand with mutable? Mutable is the variation, right? You could go this way or that way. It has dual energy, this or that, or this and that, right? And we're talking about air. Air, I learned early on, you know, air share, right? So it's like air can be, you know, it can be combustion, right? It's something in the outer realms of what we're thinking. It is Gemini, and here comes Mars, malefic. And so this is at 1 o'clock in the morning, outrageous and courageous. And your guess, this is like, I didn't even know what to write here. It was like, your guess is good as mine. Anytime you're talking about a Uranus, a Uranus aspect to your natal chart, or your Uranus or the mundane Uranus is getting activated, it's a free throw. You can't call it. You know, you're not
Mm-hmm.
the umpire. Understand? You might need to. You didn't know if that was a ball or a strike or, you know. Um, but it is about accelerated Mars movement. Is it explosive? Question mark. There's a strive for freedom. Revolt? Question mark. So this is erratic energy and random ideas. I'm putting Mars and Uranus together in an early at 3 air mutable sign of Gemini. Now, I went back because I was like, wow, I don't even know what this could entail or how it will show up. And of course, it's July 4th, right? And is that specifically kept for this July 4th? I think so. right? Universe makes no mistakes. We
Mhm.
do. Universe makes no mistakes. So I went back and did some research here. So hang in here with me. Do you mind if I go into a little bit of this?
Go ahead.
So the last time that Mars and Uranus conjoined in this Gemini sign was during 1942 to 1949, and this was World War II. So from 41, actually, it went in 41, came back out for a little bit, went back in at 42 to 49. United States enters World War II. And here we are again, right, in this type of back and forth. United States, this time
Mhm.
United States started, but major advances with, communication, Gemini, right? Um, the .coms, the intelligence, code breaking, right? Enigma, the radar, the computing technology, which just went um, a little crazy. But when Mars came into the mix, it was the first use of the atomic bomb, and that was August of 1945. So that was Hiroshima, um, and we actually we saw those Big Boy and Little Man, or whatever those two, up in Santa Fe when we went to Taos, and we went to
Oh,
um,
the bombshells.
the bombs, yeah, the atomic bomb. So, and also the UN entered and began the Cold War. So a lot, we're hearing bomb, we're hearing war, we're hearing activation, we're hearing about code breaking and radars and technology. And here we are in this period, same, just 84 years later,
Mhm.
you know. I went even back further because I was really interested in this. And I went back to the last time was 1859 to 1866. And that was the American Civil War. And when Mars came in to hit Uranus, the exact day is when the attack at Fort Sumter. And I remember being there, and that's in the Carolinas, right on the coast,
Mhm.
right near the Citadel, right where the military university is. So there again, here we are, war, attack, bomb,
Mm.
firing, right? Then I went back the next time, earlier. That was in 1775 to 1782, which was was the reason of our Constitution, because that was the American Revolution,
Mm.
that war. And if you really
Okay.
want to get a really sexy rendition of the American Revolution, is watch Outlander. I got to throw that, either Eat, Pray, Love or Outlander. I got to,
Or Hamilton. That's another one of your favorites.
or Hamilton, which I'm going to go see in 2 weeks, a week after. Oh, I'm going to see that on the 9th, actually.
Nice.
So
So we should
yeah,
probably move on. Did we talk about Saturday, or did we talk about Mars sextile Neptune?
no, but then that comes
That's the
in the
same
same
day,
day. Yeah.
Saturday,
And
July 4th.
yeah, so we get all of this cha-ching, 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 and of course it's fireworks day, right? And it's a big fireworks day. So people that normally don't hang flags are hanging flags, or wearing red, white, and blue, right? Um, and then Mars makes this sextile to Neptune, which is imaginative and artistic. And it's really asking, what do you believe in? Put your energy toward that. You don't have to pick it. You don't have to scream. You don't have to fight. This is Neptune's, it's the clearing, it's the savior, maybe, or the martyr. But, how can you soothe your nerves? How can you soothe Mars? By standing up for what you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, there's people are,
Yes.
and they're getting
So,
torn down. So, you might have to, and the next day, Sunday, the 5th, Mars trines. So these two, Mars sextile Neptune is an assistant, I should say.
uh-huh.
And Mars trining Pluto, even though these are the two bad boy cousins, Susan Goodell talks about them, they both they have strong energy, but they're trining here. So a trine says ease. So these are the Neptune and the Pluto retrograde may be assisting the Uranus, because that's the bigger aspect here. So Mars in a sextile to Mercury, Neptune retrograde is involved and committed.
Mm-hmm.
There's more reason to deepen your connection and your commitment to move mountains, right? Like dig in,
Yeah.
connect to an internal fire to it's in Neptune, or excuse me, Pluto is in Aquarius, like fight for the common folk, which a week before, 6 days before, we had the full moon. Like, who's in charge and who's it serving? And we all know the answer to that. That by the end of the week, after we're all patriotic, and we should be, like, wow, we made it to our first 250-year cycle. That's a Pluto return.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, if we look at British's rule, who's been through, I think, 4 or 5 of them. I'm not the astrologer that knows British rule that well, but they've gone through very many iterations, and they're going through another one right now. So anyway, this is not a great week that everybody gets together to celebrate. That's good, but also watch views and ideas be at battle with one another.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right, so that is our week ahead. Don't forget you can follow along with these transits personally. You can download the astrology guide, your own personal natal chart, and of course, book your reading with Sandy. If you use the code podcast, you get $20 off. So in talisman times, we don't have any talismans, very minimal ones for the month of July. So I'm also going to just put in the link for you to check out the current list of talismans that we have. And
I made a lot in
June.
June and in
Yeah.
May. And
Mm-hmm.
at that point, we were watching Jupiter in exaltation, moving quickly, and a lot of great energy was around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we
Right.
move into this period of July, and at least the first two weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, we've got Sun opposing Pluto. I'm not making talismans during that. We got Sun then squaring Saturn. Not great. Mercury's retrograde, and Venus and Mars are in a square. So there's a
Right.
lot of
Conflicting energies.
there's a lot of just let's get through the month.
Yeah.
Right. Especially if you follow Susan Goodell and I on Chatting with the Stars, which
The YouTube channel.
is the
I can.
YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
We just recorded our July, and we went over because
There's so much to say.
and Susan talks about she's a financial astrologer, and she talks about she's watching for the downturn in the economy, and she's got some important dates and information for July. And just it's a rough month.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the horizon. We have our 2 September events, Chicago UAC and the Egypt Retreat. All those links are in the show notes. And let's move into our house where we have a famous quotes quiz. Let's see How we do.
Okay, so I am going to read. So, I subscribe to the Britannica, and I get I mean, I think it's like $75 a year, but it's very informative. And if you like, these aren't not necessarily current events, but they give
Not
you one good,
always. Yeah.
well, they give you one good fact a day that on this day, in 19 or 18 or 1700 or blah, 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 this is what occurred. And I just really like that data, really like. But this one shows up as quizzes. Occasionally get a quiz. I love testing myself. But I want to test you, Alex. Okay,
Alrighty, let's go
you
ahead.
ready? Because these are famous quotes, and it's who said it. So I want everybody to, and you may see everyone, in fact, you too, me too. Let's see the difference in age, right? Where you and I are 34 years apart, 32 years apart. And so
Yeah.
I'm a baby boomer, and what are you actually? Are you a
Millennial.
millennial? So let's just see. So I'm going to ask this question. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
Are there options or I'm just
Oh
gonna
yeah,
go?
and it just ended. Oh heck. Let me go back to it. Because you have to answer it.
Okay, everybody. So let's just take a moment and notice the differences between a baby
Okay.
boomer using their
Yeah.
phone versus a.
Yeah. Well, I know this one. Everybody knows this one. John
Yeah,
F. Kennedy, Marie Antoinette, Joseph Stalin, or Winston Churchill.
JFK. Now that I have the options, because I wouldn't have been able to pick it straight out. But yeah, JFK.
Ding, ding, ding. He delivered this line during his inaugural address as the 35th United States president. Um, and 72% of Americans expressed approval after this speech.
Hmm.
This
Okay, so
one,
let's go on to the next
we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. The rock was landed on us. Now, I don't know this
one.
one.
Ooh. So what are the options?
Brigham Young, Malcolm X, Henry Ford, or Charles Cornwallis.
I'm gonna guess Charles Cornwallis.
Nope, Malcolm X.
Oh, really? Okay.
In 1964, he used this Plymouth Rock, the stone slab where settlers were one of the earliest permanent European colonies in North America, to set foot as a metaphor to describe the plight of blacks in the United States.
Okay,
Brilliant.
that makes sense now.
Yeah. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Okay, I don't even need the options for this one. I know Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, he used this before besting the reigning heavy champ, Sonny Liston. Okay. God, quote, does not play dice, unquote.
Options.
Albert Einstein, George Washington, Frank Sinatra, or Pope John Paul II.
Kind of between Frank Sinatra and Pope John Paul II.
Who do you want to pick?
Let's go with Frank Sinatra and
No,
because
Albert
he knows how to.
Einstein.
Okay.
He did not agree with every aspect of quantum mechanics, a scientific theory that says the world of atoms and subatomic particles is governed by probabilities instead of certainties. All right, here. Quote, the world will not, excuse me, quote, the world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. Vince Lombardi, Abraham Lincoln, Benjamin Franklin, or Thomas Edison.
It's one of the last three. Can you say the quote again?
The world will not, well, I've timed out.
Okay.
It was Abraham Lincoln. He
Okay.
said this as part of his Gettysburg Address, delivered during the dedication of the National Cemetery at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, where a decisive battle in the American Civil War had been fought.
Yeah,
Interesting, we're
I was
talking
gonna
about
guess Abraham Lincoln, but also Yeah, kind of like Benjamin Franklin would have made sense too. But okay,
And it was referring to the Civil War, which we were just talking about
right?
5 minutes ago. Yeah. Quote, the report of my death was an exaggeration. Ronald Reagan, Napoleon I, Elvis Presley, or Mark Twain?
Elvis
The
Presley.
report of my death was an exaggeration. It was Mark Twain.
Yeah, I
He
don't
made
know.
this quip, often misstated as reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated, in response to a 1997 newspaper report that mistook him for seriously ill, which was similar to his cousin. His name was similar to his cousin.
Got it. No, I didn't know any of those. So
Two more.
we? Okay,
Two more. The arc of the memorial universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Socrates, Confucius,
mm,
Martin Luther King Jr., or Oliver Wendell Holmes?
mm.
Oh,
MLK?
yes.
Yeah,
Often used this saying, one version of which had originally been delivered by the Unitarian minister and abolitionist Theodore Parker in an 1853 sermon. Interesting that, we're
it just
going
makes a
back.
lot of sense because he wanted to pass like peace first, not try to invoke violence. So that seems very like patient and inevitable.
Yeah, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it
Mm,
bends towards justice.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is a beautiful quote.
Actually, let's try and live that this week, especially during this big week coming up, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
MLK is speaking loudly. Okay, so let's
Last
go to
one.
the last one.
I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. I know this one. Napoleon I, George Foreman, J. Robert Oppenheimer, or Julius Caesar.
Kind of sounds like a Julius Caesar type of quote.
Alex, you watched this movie.
Or
We were
Oppenheimer.
just talking about Taos. No, not Taos. We were talking about Los Alamos.
So Oppenheimer.
Seeing the first atomic bomb detonated, Oppenheimer, who had overseen its development, recalled this line from the Bhagavad Gita, but it was more commonly translated as, I am time, the mighty destroyer of the worlds. Again, here we're talking, weird how today's,
Right.
this just showed up on my phone today, and I thought, oh, that might be something I could read to Alex while we talk our house. And here we are again. This has been happening a lot to, I'm sure, everyone that's connected with the spiritual world has these kind of ironic synchronicities that are forming. Pay attention to them, please. You just witnessed this. I did not know what this quiz was about. Now, this is half the quiz. What I can do is do the rest of the quiz next week. How about
Okay.
that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
And let's see if that second half refers to the upcoming of next week's astrology.
All right. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one, you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story.